It's been a year since one of San Diego's darkest days, the January 22nd, 2024 floods. The torrential downpour and mudslides killed at least 5 people and left thousands more without a home.
It's a stark comparison to what we're seeing today. We're following through with the recovery as San Diego rises above the flood. As we look back, those historic floods now make way for critical fire danger. For weeks, we've been raising the alarm on elevated fire risks. Yesterday alone, at least 5 wildfires burned in our area. ABC 10 News was first on the air when the lilac fire threatened neighborhoods in Bonzo.
We're in the communities, still reeling from the impacts of the flood and staying on top of the fire dangers that remain. Our extensive team coverage starts now.
ABC 10 News at 6 starts now.
Yeah, very busy morning. Good morning. I'm Melissa Macia. Thank you so much for joining us. 1 year ago today, the historic January floods, it devastated San Diego. Every day since, ABC 10 News has been there through the cleanup, the rebuilding. Our reporters, anchors, and photojournalists have been sharing the stories of people who lost everything and their journeys back home. We have comprehensive team coverage this morning with a look at these survivors' stories. My co-anchor Jared Aarons and ABC 10 News reporter Danny Miskell are both on the ground in Ocean View and Shelltown. In just minutes, they'll be following through with the community still picking up the pieces. But first, we do have an update on the multiple wildfires we saw spark up all across San Diego County. It all started just after midnight heading into Tuesday. High winds and dry conditions. It fueled 2 fires in the North County, forcing hundreds of people to evacuate. ABC 10 News was first on air at 2:45 in the morning. We were bringing you minute-by-minute updates on the fires and those containment efforts. This morning, the lilac fire, that one is still burning, remains at 50% containment. The good news here is that the forward rate of spread, that has been stopped after this fire scorched 85 acres. CAL FIRE said at least 4 buildings suffered some damage. And the Paula fire sparked just minutes north of the lilac fire. This one was in Paula Mesa. That fire is fully contained, and so is the Friars fire that broke out in Mission Valley near Fashion Valley Mall. That one started yesterday afternoon.
Then I opened my front door and I saw, like, right in my periphery, all those flames. And I was like, oh my God, we have to go right now.
Yeah, these fires serve as grim reminders. You really need to make sure that you are prepared for anything. Local leaders suggest creating those emergency bags filled with spare clothing, water, flashlights, any important documents. We are getting a short break from the Santa Anas this morning before the next round of strong winds blows through the afternoon. We have meteorologist Vanessa Paz joining us now. A very busy few days, and in busy days to come as well.
Yeah, Mel, and we really can't thank our firefighters, our first responders enough. Again, they have just been so busy, and they've been, again, just so impressive attacking these fires in such a quick amount of time. Again, we had 3 yesterday. 3 yesterday when we came in around the 2 o'clock hour in the morning, and then they just kept on, again, evolving as we progressed through Tuesday. We're not in the clear yet. We have a secondary round, as Mel mentioned, so if you haven't yet, plan, prepare, act. Bring those flammable objects inside. Make sure that you have the to-go kit ready. Keep your gas tank full if you can. Avoid using spark-prone items. Keep that phone charged and stay informed with 10 News on air or through social media. All right, relative humidity levels are recovering a little bit, but we're still seeing low numbers down to the teens and the 20s from the coast all the way towards the inland valleys. Winds are subsiding a little bit, and this is all before they pick back up for that secondary round this afternoon into Thursday night. The National Weather Service has issued the fire weather outlook, and it has the inland area still under that critical level. Most of San Diego County under that elevated level. The red flag warning was extended, now lasting all the way through Thursday night. We'll talk more about when we'll finally see a break from all of these Santa Ana conditions, along with the chance for rain and mountain snow in the coming days. I'll pinpoint that, and we'll also take a look back at 1 year ago when it came to those January floods, and we'll take a look at the numbers in terms of the water years.
Never seen anything like this in San Diego. It's insane.
Yes, so many of us have never seen something like this. So many of us hope to not see this again. Today marks 1 year since the historic January floods. So many memories washed away, so many families having to start over. Over the past year, we have followed through on many families' pitfalls and triumphs as they try to return to some sense of normalcy. My co-anchor Jared Aarons is live in Ocean View. He witnessed that disaster firsthand, and this morning he's back to see the progress. Jared, a year ago, we were both out there, and just the mud and the debris, it was incredible.
Yeah, standing about a block over from where I am right now, Melissa, where homes were destroyed, lives upended. This creek behind me, Choyas Creek, and the storm channel overflowed with water, filling these streets with flood water. And as you mentioned, it's been a year. How do you measure a year? Well, for people that live in these neighborhoods, you measure it through the progress, through moving back into their homes, through the family moments, the milestones, the holidays that they got to do either in a hotel at first or now back home. But it's not just neighborhoods like this that were devastated by these floods. What made things even more difficult for a lot of these families over the last year was the damage done to some of the places where neighbors like to come together. You know, their parks and their community centers, their schools. And over in Spring Valley, there was one school, Bancroft Elementary. Every single room in that school had flood damage. The kids had to spend more than a month at a different school while theirs was under repair. We were there at Bancroft last February when students returned to class. They had a spirit rally, they had snacks, a big welcome back. And now, as the school marks 1 year since the flood, we wanted to follow through on how they're moving forward. I got a walking tour with Principal Nathan Salcedo. He showed me all of the upgrades to their campus and how this moment changed their community forever.
So right on the other side of this was where it was completely covered, and then that's when we started getting the water that was draining over.
So it was all kind of just coming right from here.
Correct. And just slope, since we're on the downslope, everything was just sloping down this way. But one of the biggest things to make sure that doesn't happen again is that all the drainage has been snaked and cleaned out, so if it rains, we don't have another event like that again.
So we look at like even right here.
Even here, down the hallways, even the major problem being right next door, the storm gutter there, completely cleaned out. So in every classroom there is new carpeting. There are new chairs for every student, new desks for every student, new kidney tables for our teachers, completely brand new for everybody. All of this was completely covered in mud, leaves, just the debris from the nursery. But as you can see now, completely brand new grass field for the students, new synthetic turf under the play structure for them. So it's a nice area.
How resilient have the students been in all of this?
Extremely. Just being able to be bused from here to Spring Valley Academy in those 5 weeks, they showed true resiliency. But then even now, coming back and knowing that we're back to normal, and they're just pushing right through like if nothing really ever happened.
But is there a sense that you guys are coming out on this other side of this better for it because of all of that?
For sure. I think we'll call it the silver lining, right? At every school, I know everyone says their community, their schools are a family, but here we really are because we all were able to bond through this and we all had each other's backs.
And walking around that school, I saw a lot of the students, those kids running around from class to class, playing, laughing, and learning. It shows how far they have come in 365 days. Now, Principal Salcedo also told me that the flood opened a door for better dialogue between the school and its neighbors to make sure that everyone does their part to keep that storm drainage clear and keep their kids safe. It wasn't just Bancroft Elementary. There were some other schools damaged in the flood. These are some pictures that we have from Kempton Street Literacy Academy. All 3 of their kindergarten classrooms were destroyed. 2 other classrooms had to be evacuated. They also had a walkway wash away. I spoke with their principal this week about their recovery over the last year. She told me everything's been repaired. It's better than it was before. And she also shared one story from that day of the flood that she thinks really captures the essence of her school and her community when a kindergarten door wouldn't open and the kids were trapped inside.
We had to pop a window open, pull off the screen, and rescue students, 17 students and the teacher, out of the window to get them to safety. We don't have extensive rescue training or anything like that, but our staff snapped right into action. And it was frightening, but seeing everyone just go into action, it just, I'm really proud of our community and how we came together.
And what an amazing moment for that community, literally passing kids from one person to the other out the window and over that flood water. The school now has a new radio system that they use for emergencies. They've also updated their evacuation protocols. And I asked the principal what this 1 year mark means to her. She says it's a reminder of how everybody helped, and it's also a call to action for her community to pay it forward and help others. You can't tell the story of the floods, though, without telling the stories of the individual people and how every home that was damaged is a life turned upside down. ABC 10 News reporter Danny Miskell joins us live in the Shelltown neighborhood at the corner of Yama and Cottonwood. And Danny, you have spent a lot of time at that corner over the last year telling these stories. When you talk to people now, 1 year later, what's the sense of their recovery and their struggle to get back to their lives?
Jared, they're still traumatized. They tell me that every time they hear rain, it brings them back to the memory of what happened here 1 year ago. Now, I'm here in Shelltown, and I'm at this intersection. This is one of the Yama and Cottonwood, and it's one of the first locations that I arrived to during the January 22nd storm. And as soon as I arrived here on scene, the residents came to me, and they were not only telling me the brave stories of how they were helping save each other's lives, but I also heard their cries and how they pleaded with the city to do something about the storm drains because they believed this flooding was preventable. I want to go ahead and show you some images of what it looked like here 1 year ago today when the water levels rose halfway up the side of these houses, and you can see what the houses looked like after the water receded. We walked through these streets that day and we just saw families having to throw everything out. Then we met Anna Ramirez, and her neighbors told us that she was swimming from roof to roof to save them.
We made it out. It was dragging across fences. When we got to the part, to a roof we could grab onto, we got on top of it, and after that, well, we were able to get out.
I feel blessed, oh my God, because he saved my life, and my life, and my neighbor too.
I've followed up with Anna Ramirez and her sister Crystal. In September, I came out here to talk with them about the culvert situation next to their neighborhood because the people are still coming back and sleeping in them. It leaves behind tons of trash and it clogs their storm drains. It's an issue that Crystal Ramirez tells me brings flashbacks of this day 1 year ago.
My sister risked her life to save neighbors, to save me, and that to me is the biggest testimony of courage.
So I've reached out to the city, we've reached out to Caltrans and Councilmember Moreno. In the last year, we can report that they have come out here, they have cleaned out these culverts, but like I said, the people that sleep in them just keep coming back and leave trash behind. So it's something that the Ramirez sisters are asking that the city continues to send resources down here to Shelltown to prevent clogging from these storm drains from happening again, and also just to prevent another catastrophic flood event like had happened 1 year ago. Live in Shelltown, I'm Danny Miskell, ABC 10 News.
Something we will stay on top of again moving forward. Thank you, Danny. Our coverage of the flood 1 year later continues all day on ABC 10 News and well beyond today, because this is part of our commitment to follow through after the headlines stop. Live in Ocean View, Jared Aarons, ABC 10 News.
Oh,
Melissa?
yeah, Jared. Yeah, the recovery is still not over. Something we will continue to monitor, of course. Thanks so much. It is 6:13 right now with fire threats at critical levels through tomorrow. The battle intensifies to stop any wildfires before they spread. Still ahead, ABC 10 News reporter Adam Campos live from the front lines, bringing you the latest on the containment efforts on the Lilac fire, still smoldering this morning.
And at 6:14 on your Wednesday morning, you're taking a live look on the 94 West towards the 805 connector from our backyard cam. You can see all that congestion as you hop onto the 805 North from the 94. We are still tracking. Oh, it looks like that crash cleared on the 805 right near Serra Mesa. And the backup has as well. Speeds are improving up to 65 miles per hour. We're tracking a new crash. This one closer to downtown San Diego on the 163 South, right at the 5 split. East County travel times, not too bad, 7 to 10 minutes. As we pull up North County travel times, same deal, 11 to 18 southbound on the 5 and the 15. We'll be back after this.